Good evening, everyone. This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all been having a great Tuesday. Before I really get deep into this video, I know a couple videos ago I talked about just saying thanks and my appreciation of reaching 1,000 subscribers. And I just want to say it again before I start this video. It's so appreciated. You know, for me, weather is my passion, and this is just another platform that I'm beginning to get more success with expanding. And it's been a fun year with this, regarding this and the growth that I've been able to get. I had a goal to hit 1,000 before the end of the year, and I've made it. So it's a cool personal goal for me. So thank y'all. As you notice, I'm showing my face in this video. Like I've said in other videos, I never not want to show my face. My internet's kind of slow, and it's just kind of the way it is right now. But it has its times where it wants to lag really bad, and it has its times like this where the lag isn't quite as bad. So bear with me if it's a distraction. Definitely comment that, because if it is, then I'll take it off for now until I can maybe get some better internet in the future. But if you haven't subscribed already, it's much appreciated if you do. It's definitely an awesome way to support me and what I do. I'm very active on Twitter and Facebook. Very, very active on there, guys. So follow along on there, like my page. It's much appreciated. But let's get deep into this video, because there's some very interesting things to talk about for sure. But check it out here. It's a pretty cold night across the southeast, especially the eastern parts of the southeast, where you basically have the dip in the trough that's kind of gone and moving out to the east now, and the high pressure is moving on through more east. So you got more mild, more moist air to a degree, kind of over here in the western areas where it's still in the 50s and 40s in parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and things. Much colder as you move into the Carolinas. In fact, in my house, it's already close to freezing here in Columbia, South Carolina, before right here at 8 o'clock. So pretty impressively cold air early. Nothing crazy or you know, super rare or anything. But you know, anytime you can get close to 32 degrees already before you get deep into the evening, that's pretty impressive. But anyways, the models today were wild. You know, I actually put out a tweet earlier today talking about that we were potentially going to enter a period of kind of boring weather here in the next 7 to 10 days. But for a week or so now, you know, people have talked about the potential for a decent setup or pattern or signal around the 14th to 16th date in December. And models are starting to pick up on this a little bit now. And this was the European model from today. We're getting to, and if you're having trouble reading this or seeing this, make sure your video is in 720. I think that's the best resolution we can get in this. But if you put it there, you'll be able to see it clear as day. This says Thursday, so this is this Thursday, the 10th of December. So here in a day or so. We work into this, and we work into the weekend. And I'm going to show in this video the European and the GFS, two main models, because there's no point in showing 100 different models, and we're obviously not in the short range model range for a system that's you know, 6 to 8 days out. But we get into the weekend, I actually think there's a chance it could be a very mild weekend, and no rain between now and the weekend. You get late part of the weekend, this is when it gets kind of weird, and it's going to be very hard to predict until we get closer, as we're already almost in Wednesday pretty much. But here, check out this system right here. That's a lot of rain, potential severe weather in the southeast. But look what forms. You get basically a comma-shaped storm that forms right here, and a classic upper level low. And I'm going to zoom in here, that really gets going here. And let's go on and just fast forward to the storm. And as you can tell, you're getting a possible, and I'm going to show you the temperatures and what they're showing, and I'm going to show you why there could be, if the European model plays out, this is if, how it could be a potential severe weather event for parts of the southeast. But look at this. This is in response of an upper level low. What an upper level low does is you got cold air funneling behind, and it basically tugs in its own cold air from the north and brings it south. So you got this cold pocket aloft of air. So you got cold at all layers of the atmosphere. So it could be pouring chunks of snow here. Just a paste job, we like to say in the weather world here, of huge snowflakes. And I'm about to show you what the accumulation shows. This is the Euro. Euro doesn't do much crazy stuff like this, but that is heavy snow, probably falling in the mid to low 30s. That, and then it shifts into maybe Atlanta. And then it just really paced the mountains here. But this is impressive. And I'm willing to bet on the latter side of the bad side of 50% chance that this will be gone by the next European model overnight. But I tell you, I still think there's going to be a storm signal here. You sit here and you look at the temperatures for the same time frame. Here comes the front. This looks just like it looks a lot like the system a week ago, last Monday, where a front really surged in from the west and pulled down its own cold air here. And this is where that snow's falling right here. And then it goes from, this is why I think there could be a severe weather threat. Check out how temperatures soar into the 60s. But the timing of the day is Monday morning, just like a week ago. It's crazy. The timing of the day, so, will temperatures have a chance to warm up? Well, they might in eastern North Carolina. So for the third time in maybe 2 weeks, there could be a really big time, maybe not big time, but a potential severe weather event here in the western Carolinas before the really cold air moves through. And we could get locked into a cooler pattern again, maybe the first full week before Christmas. It's gonna be really interesting to see how this unfolds. But this is what a lot of people want to see, and this is what the thumbnail showed. This is what the European model is pumping out. It's not a forecast. Could it happen? You can't ever say anything can't happen. But it's over a foot of snow in Nashville, even in places in northern Alabama. It sneaks into Atlanta. My South Carolina folks, we get kind of screwed with this too. But it don't matter. It don't matter if you're in the jackpot zone of snow, and it matters if you're getting nothing. Doesn't matter if you're getting nothing. This is really still pretty far out. It's not super far out. I wouldn't call it the mid-range yet. It's still kind of on the I guess borderline mid to late range. So it's not accurate, and this is the first time it showed this. But this is this would be very, very significant and a very big deal if it was to play out. And so we've got to watch that. But this is the most important thing. Even though the last graphic was super eye-catching and everything like that, this is honestly, and this is what the professionals look at, and they should. It's what everybody should look at. These are the EPS ensemble runs. So basically, the run you just saw was the operational run. It's one run, and it just happened to show a major storm. This is several runs all put together, simulated runs, and this is the average. Now look at this, the average. We look at this graph down here. It's maybe barely an inch in the places that we're showing over a foot of snow, almost a foot and a half. So that tells you that one operational run probably skewed the heck out of all the other runs. Still a solid signal in the mountains, especially we start to get later in the run here, the ensemble runs. But still, it's eye-catching, guys, but you just can't get wrapped up in it. That's why on the graphic I put this is not a forecast. One thing I do want to show you is the GFS. This is very interesting too, but it's showing something a lot more further out. But the interesting thing about the GFS, guys, is, and we're getting here, let's back it up. And again, this is Tropical Tidbits, great free site, awesome place to learn on. Them guys have done all of us weather enthusiasts and meteorologists a favor with this site. It's been around for a few years now. So if you ever want to look at your own models, this is free. Tropical, and obviously they have an area where you can support and donate, and I recommend that too, because this is how I learned how to read models, was Tropical Tidbits. So I recommend it to anybody. But this is Friday. Check out the date, December 11th, 18Z, which is Friday afternoon or so. Here comes that storm, and it shows here. Let's back it up here. So here comes Friday, Saturday, and it shows a system that kind of moves through, but it fizzles apart. But the same time frame that the Euro had that major storm, and I might can flick back and look at here. Here it is. This is when it's moving through. Monday evening into Tuesday morning. You flip back and look at this, and nothing's there. Nothing. And so we get a little closer here, and there's just nothing in the time frame. So there's model wars, if you will, going on. There's disagreements going on, and that's why you can't take anything serious. So this is the other thing I want to show you guys. And now this is in Fantasyland. It's not in 300 plus hours out Fantasyland, but anything when you get into the 200 hours plus out, you can't take it serious whatsoever. I always call the afternoon run, the evening run, the GFS happy hour. A lot of people do too. I didn't make that up, by the way, but because it always shows some crazy run that gets a lot of people excited, or at least something to look at for the next 6 hours until it changes again overnight. But here it is, 252 hours out. So this would be for Saturday, Friday, and a Saturday for December 19th. The Saturday before Christmas, if you will, the weekend before Christmas. Shows an absolute pace job. You look at the soundings for this. This is for Columbia. Poor Columbia sitting at 38 degrees with a mega warm nose ahead. So that is you see how the temperature profiles kind of go this way? Well, that means that they kind of rise above the atmosphere. So that's a warm nose. So old Columbia, where I live, sitting at a 38 degrees and a pouring down rain. But you go right up here to Rock Hill in this, and it's an absolute pace job. Now, you still got the warm nose, but it's still cold enough to just be puking snow. To get the DGZs, which are just pretty much symbolizes that it is coming down. But it don't even matter. I can talk about all that all day, but it's 252 hours out, guys. But this is what we call a fantasy run. And then it gets cranking off the coast, and that is just mega accumulations for the North Carolina triad and the coastal regions. And you flip over and you look at the accumulation for the same time frame. We'll fast forward here, and it's so far out. Of course, I do think there's going to be areas of northwest flow events for the mountains, so higher ups. But here it is, bang! Look how quick it happens. Shows 11 inches, 10 inches near Raleigh. Just a swath of ridiculous accumulations. This will totally change in a few hours probably. But the thing is, to get from all this, and I'll go into this right here, and this is the GEFS, which is basically equivalent to the EPS, but it's the GFS ensembles. And check it out. You go back all the way out to that time frame where that storm was, and look at the signal. There's no signal of that storm. So there's no support from the ensembles, which are much more important than an operational run model like you just saw. But the one thing I just want to get out of this to you guys is the next, and I'm going to update y'all throughout the week on this, but the next few days are going to not be a whole lot going on, but we get into early part of next week, into next week in general. There's a signal right here, and here's the EPS of a storm, maybe colder air, but you look at this warmer than average temperatures right here. That tells me that as far as cold air, it's going to not be long lasting. This has that look to it where there's not really a deep connection to the Arctic. This looks like a kind of it basically just looks like a upper level low system where it digs right here and then sweeps on through. You get a quick cold shot for a few days, and then it kind of warms up back to average. But then you maybe get something later in the run where you kind of get more colder air. But you don't know. It's the same thing with GFS. You kind of see a signal there. It warms probably a little bit above average this week. But here comes something that the time frame we need to watch right here. A dip in the jet stream. Will there be a storm around? Who knows? But I do think something's going to be interesting. Something interesting is going to occur early next week in the southeast, whether it's severe weather, maybe whether it's a big-time cold shot, or whether it's a storm system that maybe brings winter weather to parts of the southeast again. So I'm still searching for our miracle Christmas snow. It don't happen to happen on Christmas Mother Nature, but it would be nice if it happened around Christmas time, right? But I appreciate you watching. If you guys have tuned in for this long, I'll keep y'all updated on this, and thank y'all for everything and watching this video. Y'all have a great evening.